We're 4,319 miles from where I started, and we've hit this big lake that the locals call the Pacific Ocean. It's Crescent City, California, although city is probably pushing it. It seems more like a tiny town to me, but that's just semantics. 7,000 people in 2010, but that's about a decade ago, so I'm guessing it's probably at least 11,000 now. Great little sea town, absolutely beautiful. We're just rolling up here today, so let's do a little bit of exploring. There's a little island over there with a house on it. That's kind of neat. I wonder if I can go check that out. Huh. Well, this is it. Oh, there's a guy down there in red. He's carrying something. Maybe he's gonna paint something or take a photograph. And that's a tripod. I like the rocks out there. I think that's pretty cool. That adds detail to a coast. I mean, it's certainly pretty. It's probably very expensive to live here, I can only imagine. I bet some of this land is worth millions and millions. What's even cooler is, like, it's not beachfront, but it's waterfront. And since it's on a cliff, when the liberals say the ice caps will melt, you know, you won't be submerged. I'm gonna go to that island over there. Can you see that? It's kind of bright. Let's see. See if I can get there. Just explore this little town. I'm just driving around mostly. The most important thing to do when you get to a major sightseeing location on your massive road trip traveling lifestyle is to not get out of the car to do anything. You know what this reminds me of? This town reminds me of something like in a Lovecraftian novel. It gives me hints of like New England or Maine is what it's kind of reminding me of. I guess with a slightly more Californian vibe. I'm a lone wolf, a rebel without a cause, a loose cannon cop on the edge who doesn't play by the rules. But I'm introverted at least. I don't actually like doing too many of the touristy things. Like when I go to a new country or someplace, I rarely go to restaurants or anything. I think it's more interesting to go grocery shopping and eat like a local would, or eat at a 7-Eleven. In Iceland, you can get cool fish spread to make sandwiches out of. That sounds better to me than some fancy restaurant. It's also a post hoc rationalization of my innate tendency to be isolated. I've really only spent time in two other cities in California, which is LA and San Fran. So you can see why I crack jokes at California's expense all the time. This town is more my speed, and the redwoods are nice. So I'll cut California a little bit slack. They're even trying to compromise by splitting into 3 states. It's always an interesting concept, though you have to put LA and San Fran in the same state. It's all gerrymandering, really. The topography of the seafloor surrounding Crescent City has the effect of like focusing tsunamis in. It's like a magnifying glass while you're burning like leaves in the backyard. According to researchers, the city experienced a tsunami conditions 31 times between the years of 1930 and 2008. Most are barely noticeable, but one of them in particular is commonly cited as the largest and most destructive recorded tsunami to ever strike the United States Pacific coast. That was in the 1960s. An earthquake on the coast of Alaska set in motion of the ocean to about 20 feet high. In 2011, when that 9.0 earthquake hit Japan, Crescent City over here had to evacuate parts of it, though this time the peak surge was only over like 8 feet or so. Oh, there's a boat out there. Shout out to Lisa and everyone who compliments me on my voice. It's hard to contain my ego when people compliment me constantly, so keep it up. Now, for a limited time only, you can download my voice pack for Alexa, although it won't be as good as Alex Jones.
Alexa, what time is it?
Time to die.
Alexa, how tall is Mount Everest?
Look it up for yourself. I mean, this is what do you think tap water is? It's a gay bomb, baby.
With doing all the internet stuff that I do, I produce videos, some podcasts, commercials, and things like that. I would love to do a radio-esque TV show type deal. Here's the problem, though. I have nothing to say. Or rather, nothing I feel like I'm uniquely qualified to talk about. Though I'm sure Joe Rogan didn't go into JRE thinking it'd be the #1 interview show in the world. I think that's something you learn as you go. If you've got cool ideas, hit me up. I'll read you your bedtime stories. Dial 1-800-KOPEC, K-O-P-E-C. Rates start at a reasonable 75 cents a minute. Bitcoin or Federal Reserve notes only. I guess that's the problem in general. I'm a squishy little sponge that absorbs information constantly, but my brain is so void of direction that I have to consume so much before enough can drip out and form any producible content. Which, that goes a long way to explain why we're sitting here today driving around on the beach. Oh no, where does this road go? Don't tell me no, it doesn't end. Wow. I wonder if I can take this road all the way up to Oregon. Probably not. There's a big old bus with a solar panel on it. Oh, there's an airport. Look at that. That's pretty cool. See the mountains over to the right. What do we got down here? Looks like just a little visitor center. That's pretty neat. Pretty nice. Here's a nice little seaside town for you. Oh, this is Center Street right here. Probably goes all the way down to the coast. We're only 20 miles south of Oregon, so it's time we hit the road. We've got a whole coast to explore. Tune in next vid where we watch this guy slip further into madness at the existential dread of existence. Spoilers, it's me. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys.
Excuse me. I think my testosterone's going up. This happens every time I start working out a lot again. Swam 2 miles this morning pretty hard. Ate a big fat steak last night, so I'm going a little bit wild today. Excuse me.